Welcome to FIXnotes. My name is Robert Heitha, and in today's episode, we are going to be talking about the things that I wish I knew before I started in the note business. Let's get right into it. It's the first episode of 2023, episode number 53, and we're going to share with you the entirely new content schedule for this year. We're going to start with this month's content recap, then we're going to talk about next month's agenda. We're going to cover the mastermind and the current marketplace in the secondary mortgage market. Then we're going to do a case study rewind to revisit some of our most compelling case studies from an episode of this show that maybe you didn't see. Let's jump right in. So there you have it. New videos every single Wednesday for 2023. We're going to be posting a few different types of videos, quick tips, case studies, and feature advice on the first 3 Wednesdays of the month. And we're going to wrap it up with the Be the Bank show on the last Wednesday of every month, as you've come to expect, to share with you everything that we've learned over the course of that month's content. So our first quick tip we posted was the perfect business name. And I got to tell you, this is a good one for someone either who's already created a business and maybe isn't getting the money they expect in the note space, or if you do not have your entity set up yet, this is a very important video to watch so you don't make any mistakes that'll bite you later down the line. Next, we went over our first standalone case study number 102, a non-performing junior modification, and it's a whole new format. You got to go check it out in the video tab on the FIXnotes YouTube page. And then finally, our feature advice for this month was website strategy for note investors, another absolutely critical piece of information that I wish I knew when I started in this space. So definitely check that out as well so that you can start getting money as a note investor. All right, so the content schedule for next month, we got 3 more videos lined up to get you started for February. And we've got entity structure secrets. Very important to understand this before you create your entity. If you've already created one, this is a great refresher, and maybe you want to do things a little bit differently after you watch this video. Next, we're going to go over a non-performing senior lien case study. It was paid off. This was a discounted settlement. That's case study number 103, coming the second week of February. And then finally, our feature advice for February. I'm really excited to do this one, a fast and free title research tutorial. So that's going to be hugely valuable for you. So definitely subscribe to the channel so you can get all of this upcoming content. So let's start with assets for sale after we've done all of that recap. And this is exactly what you'll see when you join the mastermind group and navigate over to our aggregated trade desk. So on the aggregated trade desk, we have tons of opportunities. Hundreds of millions of dollars have went through this platform since we launched 3 years ago. And I would highly recommend, if nothing else gets you into the mastermind group, the aggregated trade desk is a hugely valuable opportunity to find deals for sale, to meet new sellers, and to liquidate your own loans if you'd like at no additional fees. If you join the mastermind group, this is included for you. So in 2022, we've helped members acquire over $10 million of non-performing first and second position mortgage notes. And in 2023, we are looking forward to our best year yet. Now, in February, next month, very soon here, we're going to be releasing first and second position non-performing loans available from my best client, US Mortgage Resolution. So if you have not done any business with US Mortgage Resolution, it's an absolute pleasure. I've been working with them for over 10 years now, and they have some of the best product on the marketplace, some of the best prices, and the absolute best post-transfer process. We can get all of the docs over to you very quickly, and the servicing transfer initiated shortly after funding. So like I said, this year is turning out to be one of the best years yet for investing strategies, acquisitions, and top-tier networking within the Mortgage Note Mastermind group. So I definitely want to share this with you so maybe you can at least consider it, see what we have to offer, and take advantage of our 30-day money-back guarantee to try it out, give it a test run, and if it doesn't work for you, get a quick refund from me. So to share a little bit more about what's on our website here, you can see, first of all, our free course, How to Invest in Mortgage Notes. Then we've got our masterclass series exclusively available to the mastermind members. Once again, this is included. There's no additional charges to read these courses that include video tutorials as well. These are in-depth 90-day note investor to get you started, sourcing secrets to help you find more opportunities for acquisitions in the marketplace, and bulk due diligence to analyze those opportunities quickly, efficiently, and accurately. And we release these new masterclass courses from time to time, and we refresh the existing courses for up-to-date content as the market develops. So you'll see through these different modules that we offer, there's a ton of content to get you into this space successfully. Also, as part of the Mastermind membership group, we do a monthly Zoom call, and all of those recordings you can access instantly when you join the group. We've got a ton of great speakers that are all members of this group that share the information that they've learned in the space. You can network with them, potential partnerships, potential loan sellers or loan buyers. There's a whole bunch there for you. And as you know, if that slide would have stuck around for us a bit longer, this group does increase in price with every 3 new members that join. I think that's an important thing to consider as an early adopter. What you'll find is that the price will go up from here. It's currently $160 per month. We have 1 seat left at $160 per month, so you can access those asset purchase opportunities, the video courses, our private events and Zoom calls, the vendor database, our forum where you can get free consulting just by asking questions. All of the case studies we review on this YouTube channel are available in more detail. We have an entire database of counties and states that you can use to search zip codes and get all of the links to the county recorder and tax assessor and all the details you need geographically. We've got templates and calculators. One of our members just requested this month to see a PPM, a business plan, and an operating agreement for a note business. So we've been able to upload examples of those documents for our users to take advantage of. We've got the aggregated trade desk, of course, and then you get 50% off consulting with me just by joining, and that pays for itself. So go to FIXnotes.com/mastermind to get a little bit more information, see all of our testimonials and everything we got going there. All right, so let's talk about a case study. Yes, we're still going to talk about case studies in the Be the Bank show. We're going to do one case study rewind every month, and then we're going to do a standalone case study as well of a brand new variety, a new asset that we haven't talked about before. But this particular deal came to us back in episode number 21. And I picked this one because it was actually the least viewed episode of Be the Bank on the YouTube channel and had some really interesting implications. So this is a non-performing second lien secured by a single family residential property that we resolved through a modification agreement, resulting in a deal that was now worth as a reperforming loan over $20,000. And you'll see why this is an interesting one to include in this show about things that I wish that I knew before, because this deal actually didn't turn out maybe how you'd expect. So the fair market value is $452,850. The senior lien was $206,694, leaving us with $246,156 of equity. Now that's securing a UPB on our second position, junior lien, of $88,986. So tons of equity, way more equity than you'd expect from some of these deals, especially the fact that you'll see very soon, this modification didn't have the best terms, and you'll see that very soon here. So what happened, where are you now, and what do you want to do are the 3 questions that frame our conversation with our borrowers. Once we have those answers, we can really craft a resolution that fits their needs, fits their finances, and is sustainable moving forward. So in this case, pretty sad story. The borrower actually, this is terrible, but they got their hand caught in a table saw and had a serious medical problem. And that medical debt really started to mount. And it also put them out of work because this guy's an engineer, he needed his hands, and all of a sudden he's kind of handicapped for a while this injury is healing. So he also had some failed investments and the job loss. I don't know how related those 2 things are to the injury, but suffice to say, it was a very bleak situation for this borrower when he went into default originally on this junior lien. At this point, they are living in the property, which is a good sign. It is owner occupied. They've already used their 401k hardship withdrawal, which is really tough because this is a great backup option for these borrowers that are in a tough situation to take a penalty-free withdrawal from their retirement account to save their owner-occupied property that's going into foreclosure. But they already used that for the first lien reinstatement. So at this point, the co-borrower is working retail, the engineer borrower is working as a substitute teacher, and word for word their explanation of the situation was they're just trying to come up for air, and we were trying to help them do that so they could get those finances in order and bring this loan to a current status. So after all that conversation, what we resulted in was that they could really only afford $200 per month. And as you might know, an $88,000 balance does not amortize with a $200 per month payment unless the interest rate is incredibly low, way below market. So in this case, we had to come up with a creative solution. And that's what I want to share with you today, both the caveats of this creative solution on the investor perspective, as well as the benefits of this creative solution for the borrower. So what we ended up doing that resolved this deal and became a cash flowing asset was creating a interest only step rate modification. So essentially what this means is that the $88,986,000 balance remains in a balloon payment due at the end of the term. And we call it interest only because they're only making those interest payments every month. And it's called a step rate modification because every year that passes, the amount that they pay increases as a result of a higher interest rate. So in year one, I'm not sure the exact interest rate, but I think it's like 5 or 6%, then 7%, then 8%. And as those interest rate increases happen, their monthly payment increase happens. Now, we do waive any prepayment penalties on these deals, so the borrower is able to refinance as soon as possible to get this loan back to either an amortized loan with refinance with a new lender or some other lower interest rate option. So that is always our goal, to align our interests with the borrower. So here's where things get dicey. This non-performing loan is worth over $40,000. We paid a little less than this because it was purchased in bulk, but as a non-performing loan on the secondary market, you'd actually maybe see this loan worth more than 40 because of all of that equity. Also, when this case study was originally posted a couple of years ago, the market was a little different. This type of loan today is actually worth even more. So when you look at this deal from the perspective of a non-performing loan buyer, $200 per month isn't super attractive when you're putting up $40,000 of investment. And you'll see the reperforming loan value is closer to $20,000, which means that we essentially lost value by turning a non-performing loan into a modification reperforming loan. So it's a very interesting case study to explain here as something that some of you might wish you knew going into a future deal like this. The fact that a reperforming loan can be worth less than a non-performing loan based on the monthly payment agreement that you have underway. Now, in this case, the good news is that it only took 1 month and less than $200 of expenses to start this monthly payment plan. So while we could have certainly foreclosed because there's a substantial amount of equity here, we would have had to go through the judicial foreclosure process in New Jersey, which is very lengthy, and we wouldn't see any cash flow until the sheriff's sale when we finally get the property sold and get the full payoff. So in this case, because of this interest-only step rate modification with the balloon payment due, we get the monthly payments right away, which are entirely profit, they're all interest. And then at the end of that term, or any point during the term that they want to refinance, we collect that full payoff of $88,986. So in this case, even though the monthly cash flow that we're seeing, the annual return at $220 per month and then $240, $260 as those step rates increase, isn't a great cash on cash return, the internal rate of return when this loan is finally paid off is going to be substantial. So let's talk about a couple of takeaways for this particular case study. Well, this first one isn't accurate anymore because this was done back when interest rates were at historically low levels. Now we're seeing those interest rates creep up, and I'm glad that I was evangelizing that on this show for so long, that you really should be leveraging debt while interest rates are historically low. And unfortunately, this borrower has not refinanced yet, so they're in a position now where their interest rate might actually be better on this interest-only plan, which should be coming to the balloon payment in just a few years now, where they're going to have to either put a new modification agreement in place, which we probably wouldn't do an interest-only plan again. We may do a fully amortizing loan with a monthly payment of around $600-700 per month, or they're gonna have to find another lender to refi us out. Now, next is to structure modifications that are fair and affordable. You really wanna align your interests on these deals. And I think that a really difficult place that a lot of investors put themselves into is by not affording to be patient. And I'm jumping ahead to the last takeaway here. Don't put yourself into a situation where you can't afford to be patient, because then you can make decisions that go south or have the potential of going south. And in this case, that's the weight between the options of a legal battle and an amicable resolution. While a legal battle will certainly offer you a full payoff and you'll have maximum leverage because you're forcing that foreclosure process to happen, you're going to go through a lot of time and expense through that lengthy judicial foreclosure process in New Jersey in this case. And you could have had, as an alternative, an amicable resolution that starts with $220 per month right away. And that's really what made it work for this particular deal, was that instant modification agreement within 1 month of acquiring the loan. If, for example, this deal had taken 6 months and we'd have a lot of back and forth with the borrower, we're not hearing back from them in time. Maybe they're not making the appointments that we set to follow up. And at some point it's like, we really can't help if you're not going to help yourself. We would have needed to send that demand letter and move through the foreclosure process. But because this borrower reached out right after they received their RESPA hello letter from our loan servicer, letting them know that, this loan is going to be pursued, we need to get a deal done, it's in default. They reached out right away and we were very impressed with their responsiveness getting this modification done, which of course they knew that this is a great deal. So it was certainly a no-brainer for them to move forward with a modification like this. I often call the note business the easiest sales job ever because essentially the borrower has already bought what you're selling. They owe the money, they got to return that money in some form or another. And when you have the leverage as the lender, you can really make the terms fit into whatever the investment goals that you have. Now, the counter of that is fitting into the borrower's financial situation. And we could have been more aggressive with the foreclosure, or as an alternative, we could have been more aggressive pursuing the borrower's financials. We could have requested tax returns and bank statements and credit card statements and really tried to find out maybe 220 is way underestimating. Maybe $400 per month actually does fit their budget. $400 per month would actually be a pretty decent return on a $40,000 investment. And if we were pursuing that angle, there could certainly have been some advantage there. Now, it would have taken longer than that really quick 1 month modification, but depending on your situation, that should certainly be a tool in your toolbox to analyze the borrower's financial situation and move forward in a way that fits both of your needs. In this case, because we bought this loan for less than $40,000 as a bulk purchase, the monthly payment wasn't as bad as it looks on paper here, but it does show that you could not resell this loan as a reperformer and actually earn a great return. You'd be losing money if you sold the reperforming loan. So for the most part, when we do an interest-only step rate modification such as this, what we're doing is holding those loans until full payoff. Because for an investor who buys this for $22,000, they're earning like an 11% return, which is decent. And a lot of investors would definitely take that deal when they know there's an $88,000 balloon payment at the end of the term. But to put their capital to work closer to that $88,000 figure just doesn't make sense as far as their annual return. So we're holding on to this deal. It'll eventually pay off. The balloon payment is due in just a couple of years here. It was a 4-year step rate modification, and I think they've got a little less than 2 years left on the term. So it's an interesting one, and it is certainly something that I wish I knew going into some of these deals, that reperforming loans can be worth less than non-performing loans when they're modified at a payment amount that doesn't quite make sense for the principal balance that is owed. So that's it for the case study recap. That's our first case study recap ever. We're going to keep doing them because I think that there's a lot of great opportunities. And I want to share with you again our website, totally free, our mastermind group for $990 per month. In the future, you'll see we've got a great deal for you today. And consulting with me, there's so much that we can offer you on the website. And the mastermind group is currently $160 per month for the next user that joins. There's 1 seat left at $160 before we go up to $170 per month for the next 3 users. And that 50% off consulting rate does cut my consulting fees in half to $250 per hour. So I'd highly encourage you to go check that out if you're serious about the note business. All right, so that's it for the call today. Like I said, there's a new format. We're going through our recap of this month, our agenda for next month. And if you want to check out the mastermind group, go to fixnotes.com/MNM or fixnotes.com/mastermind. If you're a member, go to podio.com/fixnotes/mastermind to get all of the access to our tools and templates and networking and everything that we have available for you there. That is it for today. Thanks again for tuning in for this new year. You're going to hear from me on the industry overview and tech tips and vendor reviews, assets for sale, case studies, giveaways, and so much more. It's just going to be in a slightly different format. You'll see some 5 to 10 minute long videos posted separately, and then you'll get on this call to talk about the current goings on in the marketplace. So subscribe to the channel, and we will see you next time.